Okay, first of possibly the last event for Hangout with Alonso Quixana. I am Raghav, also known as Alonso Quixana. Today we have Ashwin Verlekar and Vidit Bhatia here with me. Ashwin Verlekar and Vidit Bhatia both are recent graduates from ASU Computer Science, and both are okay. Ashwin is working with Microsoft and Vidit with Adobe. Do you guys want to introduce yourself?
Um, Ashwin, go ahead.
Oh, what do I have to
No,
do?
Okay. So Ashwin worked with Dr. Dijang Huang. Tell me your experience, dude.
What the ASU experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I was student from MS student from 2012 fall till May this year, and yeah, I did my thesis under Dr. Dijang Wang. So I was working with him for about, I would say, approximately 7-8 months. And yeah, right now I'm working at Microsoft in Seattle, Redmond actually. But yeah, what else?
Um, Ashwin Velekar is also a good photographer, videographer, um, um, blog writer, story writer. One of the talented people I know in and around ASU. He has done some videos with photos and things like that for a lot of people in and around here. And
A lot of people, yeah, a lot of people. That's correct, Raghav.
he is also a TA for. He was also the TA for operating systems with Dr. Pata, I guess. Dr.
No,
Lasmita
that was with Skousen.
Skousen. Yeah.
Yep.
So he was a TA also. So for those of you who think doing a TA or doing thesis is difficult or stereotypically impossible, there's a live real example exhibit to prove otherwise.
There are all different sides to that coin. So yeah, we'll come to that later.
Okay, so the other person on the panel with me today is Vidit Bhatia. Vidit was unfortunately my TA student for him and for him particularly. So on in digital video processing, I
yeah.
guess he's now placed in Adobe, one of the most successful students. If you think success in terms of certain parameters, which he'll explain with it.
So I joined with Ashwin in fall 2012, and I started work. I worked with two different professors. I started working with Dr. Huan Liu for 1 year, and I was RA for 3 semesters. For the second semester with Dr. Huan Liu, and then I was RA for next 2 semesters with Dr. Wen Lee. She works with geographical department. I wanted to expand my horizon in various different domains, so I decided to go into this geography thing. So, and yeah, fortunately, I got a chance to intern with Adobe last year in San Jose, and then it was a very rigorous process, 5, 6 interviews, and then my manager was happy with my work, and then he converted me to a full time. So yeah, now I'm working with Adobe as a senior software engineer in San Jose. Yep, that's it for me.
Okay, Vidit, I had one question. Is
Yes.
it Adobe or both are correct?
So Adobe is what I used to say when I was in India, but here everyone says Adobe. So that's I think what the pronunciation is.
Okay, yeah, one doubt cleared.
It's the same thing about like what is it tempeh or tempe or what is it? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. So with it, how was your experience at ASU and like, um, is it difficult to get an internship or is it important to get an internship? That seems to be a lot of questions are based on that. So
So first of all, I would take like there are three questions that has been asked. I will take questions one by one. So first of all, the thing is that the most important thing that for which I came to ASU was education. So I laid most of my stress on education, finding a good professor, finding something good to work in my university. And if you get that, that will definitely at the end of the day lead to a very good internship, which I ended up getting into. I had 3 offers when I went in my for summer internship. I had 3 offers. I had with Microsoft, I had with Amazon, and I had with Adobe. Adobe was the one which was paying me the least, but I still decided to go with Adobe. So people decide their internship on the basis of money, which I think is conventional, but I chose Adobe unconventionally. And because I looked like I was a far-sighted person, and I looked forward, and I was able to think that it will be good for me in the long run, because they defined the project well in advance for me. They told, like, I already met my manager and everything, which not all the companies do. And I was in good like conversation with my manager and HR directly, so I like that, and therefore I joined Adobe, and then I worked there for 3 months. One more thing I want to tell is that for the like, people just ask all the time. I have been quite a lot active in some forums that how can we get RA. I was RA for 3 semesters. Last semester was not actually an RA, but my professor somehow increased my pay rate because I just had to take 2 courses so that I can manage my fees as well. But I was not officially an RA, but because my fees was managed, so I would say that I was an RA in last semester as well. So if you want an RA, you don't get an RA because you want it. And you don't get an RA because you are a thesis student. You don't get an RA. You don't do RA. You don't do thesis because you want RA. You get RA because you work hard. So you go to professor, start working with him, not because you want RA, because you have to get something from the project that you are working on. You have to learn from it, and you have to deliver. And once you will deliver, when your professor will find it out, he will be more than happy to pay you back, because that's what professors are there for, to help you in your studies, to help you in your expenses and everything. So your main focus should be just to get as much knowledge as you want, as much work as you can do. Being a MS student in USA is totally different from being a student in India. You have to work very hard. So the harder you will work, the better will be the result.
Vidit, that you covered quite a lot of things right there. I want to get into something that is quintessential in what you said, and I've had this conversation with Ashwin Valekar lot of times. Okay, so I feel that, like the way you said it, when the moment you enter MS to the moment you graduate, after you graduate, you have a resume in your hand that you have done this thesis project, you have this TA at RA, and this is your thesis and all those things. So you have that resume now, and it looks very chronological in the sense that you started and then you did this and then you did that and then you did this, then you joined Adobe for intern, then you had 2 semesters of RA and then you joined Adobe as a full time. If you look at my resume, if you look at your resume, for example, it looks like the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, you did all this, right? But I'm sure that's not the way it went, right? I'm sure you didn't plan at the beginning of your masters that I'm going to be doing intern at Adobe and then I'm going to be working at Adobe and then I'm going to do RA and all those things. So what I gather from the way that things are happening today, and what I gather from the questions that are posted here and the questions that I get on forums and things like that, is that everybody has this image of a student, a master student, who is like a perfect master student. You have to do this, then do that, and do this. And this is the kind of idea that has been either incorporated into them, either by themselves or by the seniors or whatnot. So that this is the image that you have to do. And everybody tries to follow the same image of their senior. They try to take the courses that their seniors tell them to take. They try to do everything. And if they miss one step, they feel that they're failed, right? If they don't get an intern, they're suddenly failed, or if they don't get a part-time job, which is insignificant if you ask me, and they feel that they fail. And then as Indians, we already have this stigma towards failure, right? That we cannot tolerate failure in our life. The moment we fail, that's it. Everything is ruined. We have the stigma for failure. So I'm sure this is not. I'm sure when you started your masters, you didn't plan that I'm going to be ending up at Adobe. I'm sure that you have no idea what your resume is going to be. But now that you have your resume, can you go back and tell me that how these things happened, or what special things did you do, or did you plan it, or did you want it? Like, these people are just coming in, and I'm sure they have a resume in the mind which they want to be at the end of it. And I'm sure that's not going to happen. They're going to go through things that going to change their ideologies. They're going to change fields sometimes. So what would you say that? Why is it good to get out of this image, or is it easy to follow the same path as your seniors? Should you, if there is some course which you want to take and some course your seniors are asking you to take, how do you decide, how do you make that choice that I want to do this and I want to do that?
So if you see my choice of courses, they are typically unconventional. I took design and analysis of algorithms, which people take in first semester or second semester. I took it in like my last semester, and it was not to actually gain any knowledge or stuff like that. It was more towards completing my courses which are required for my graduation. People say, and then like that's why people are not able to get dark courses. My courses were totally unconventional. I never took a course which generally the courses that I took had like 10 to 15 students, except two courses which I took which were highly crowded. I will discuss about them as well in a moment. So I took an internship class, if Raghav you know about that, in my fourth semester. I helped few like 20 students to get into internship. So I discussed my resume with them. So the resume which I had when I came and was applying to part time, if I watch that, like if I see that resume now, maybe I won't even hire myself for the job. It was totally that bad. I cannot explain. I just tried to squeeze everything into one page, and the resume that I have now is totally different. If you compare, you can't even say that these are two same people. And when I came to US, let me tell you again, I landed here on 10th of August and I haven't registered for any courses. My courses which were registered were principles of object-oriented programming, principles of C++, all undergrad courses, because I didn't even know that we have to register for courses. I was not active on these forums. That's why I try to
I
give back.
remember. I remember that I told you you're late to join courses, and I remember
Yeah.
having this conversation.
And then I spent like every night I used to wake up all night and try to look for courses. And fortunately, I got few. So when I came, I was already in conversation with three people. One was Dr. Huan Liu, one was Dr. Subarao Khambapati, and then third was this new lady or girl, I don't know, Dr. Carol Jean Wu. So I took three courses with them, which was a very bad decision for me because I struggled with those three courses. My first course was artificial intelligence, the advanced artificial intelligence with Rao, which is definitely a hard course. Second was social media mining with Dr. Huan Liu, and third was computer architecture 2 with Dr. Carol Jinru. I wanted to explore that which thing I'm more interested in, so that's why I took these courses. And in none of the courses there were more than 15 people. It was not conventional courses which everyone takes in their first semester, and I think that that was the first step towards doing something good, because my first semester was so hard that it made me so comfortable with ASU that my rest of my three semesters went very easily. And I never planned anything. As Raghav said, nothing is planned. I tried preparing for Amazon because that is what I heard from everyone, that Amazon hires in bulk. So I was going through the usual career cup questions and everything, and then fortunately I got a call from Adobe because I applied online. So Adobe was never, ever, ever planned. I planned for Amazon and Microsoft. I got into it, but Adobe was never planned. So, and that was the best thing I got into. So plannings fail, things fail. Moreover, I never expected ever that I would get an RA. I just went to Dr. Liu for a job because I was interested in data mining. He gave me a job and then he liked my work, and he himself for the next semester offered me RA. I never asked for him for money. I never asked him for RA. After 1 month seeing my work, he told me that okay, I will pay you hourly, and the next semester he offered me RA. So
See,
things,
that's what I'm saying. Okay,
yeah,
that's the right thing that you brought up, and I'm sure Ashwin, you can also pitch into this. That people actually don't go to professors asking for RA. The thing about words like RA and thesis and research is there's a stigma against all of them. The moment you start using words like research and thesis and RA, people actually think it's something that's impossible. Only genius people can do, and it's automatically they assume that okay, it's not for me. I just want to do this and I want to just get a job. And there is also this opinion that if you start doing research you won't get any jobs. There's that opinion also. I'm sure Ashwin also went to Dijang Huang like that, and I know his trouble, the way he went and then he came back and then he went. Ashwin, do you want to talk about it, like the risk about going to thesis? Is it really that big a risk? Is it something that difficult to do, or you get to make the decision that you want to do research and you don't want to do a master's, or is it easier because you actually don't get to do two courses and you can rather do thesis, which is your own, right? So, how do you feel about that? Okay, I think we lost Ashwin.
oh,
No,
Can
I'm
you can? Oh yeah, he's here.
okay. Okay, fine. So let me
You're on
clarify
mute.
one thing. Yeah, can everybody hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So where this thesis thing and the research thing is concerned, so yeah, as Vidit and Raghav said, that should not be the. I mean, getting an RA or a TA under a professor is and should not be the reason for doing a thesis or going into research. First of all, now where my case is concerned, I would say I trapped myself into it, honestly. So,
Is trap the
like,
word
yeah,
that you
I have
want?
always, yes, yes, I
Okay.
trapped myself. It has nothing to do with the thesis. It has nothing to do with
Okay.
the thesis that I did in the end. Okay, it's just that I misunderstood some of the rules.
Hmm.
Okay, and if I wanted to convert, I should have converted earlier. I didn't convert on time, and then it would have led to many other problems. So I decided, okay, fine, let me just do a thesis. It was something of that sort. I won't go into the
So
details
you
of
were
that.
admitted
I'll
as an MC. You were admitted as an MCS, and you didn't convert to MS on time.
no, no, no. I was admitted as an MS.
Okay.
I was trying for so like initially when I entered, was interested in like doing a thesis or something, mainly something in the area of like operating systems or cloud computing because those were my interests.
Okay.
And I did try coming up with projects and stuff, but didn't really manage to do it properly. So what happened in my case was like I got my job in around I think 11 12th of December, something like that, in 2013. That was my end of my third semester. I still hadn't converted, and then I realized that if I convert at this stage, only 9 credits will be transferred from my MS to the MCS. So there is a way to go around it, but that involves a petition and stuff like that. So I just decided that instead of going through that headache, I might as well just do a thesis. Now, in the third semester, that is fall 2013, I taken a course, cloud computing under Dr. Huang.
Hmm.
And what he does is he gives his own research projects as the class projects for that course. So I had picked an, using with its word, unconventional project. So that was something called attribute-based encryption, which nobody had taken. I just somehow manipulated my group into taking that project, and that was something new. It was something totally new. It was a great learning experience. And then I just talked after I realized that it's better that I do a thesis. So I just talked to Dr. Huang that, okay, I think I can take forward this project in such a manner. And we discussed all about the project, and he said it looks good. And I told him that, okay, I have a job. I want to finish in one semester. Will it be possible or no? He said, if you can just complete what you said that you are proposing, so that should not be a problem. So first of all, one thing I want to clarify that I realized after I went into a thesis is that it's not like you have to stay for extra semesters if you are going to do a thesis. That's the one common impression that is there all over ASU, especially in the Indian community, I will say, because that's with whom we interact more. So, so I'm an example that that is not the case. I started working on the project in January. I finished in April. Okay. Only thing
So
is you have to work very, very hard.
having said that,
Yeah.
on the same lines, okay, there is this stigma that
Hmm.
getting into research is difficult. Straight, that's it.
Hmm.
It's not for me. And even though people actually, if you ask them when they're applying for their masters, or if you ask them when they're joining their masters, they would say this that
Hmm.
I want to do thesis, I want to do research, and they feel passionate about what they want to do. Everybody has this idea as to what they want to do, and everybody feels passionate about what they want to do. But the moment they come here, or slightly before they come here, the entire opinion of them is changed, because now the whole idea that okay, we are paying this much money comes into their mind, right? That we have this loan, and all those things comes into their mind. And once they see that it's a big thing, the responsibility falls on them. And I want to use the word responsibility because I don't have a other word for it. And they start looking for people who have actually gone through this successfully, and they find majority of people who have done this with a certain set of courses and a certain path. And the opinion that they get from them is that anything other than what they have done is wrong. If you do a thesis, you're
Hmm.
screwed. If you do this courses, you're screwed. If you take these projects, you're screwed. And this falls
Hmm.
on them repeatedly, and it falls on them due to online forums, due to people they meet here, or whatever. They just confine themselves into a shell and follow the things that only they have to do. I mean, I agree with the fact that you have a huge load on your head, and you have to be responsible with the decisions that you make in terms of your courses and in terms of your job opportunities and anything. You don't want to do things that will lead you into trouble. I agree with that completely, and I agree with the fear of failure. But I don't know why that stigma is there that you cannot do things that are different. Was it a difficult decision for you to make when you wanted to do thesis? At that moment, were you thinking that okay, what happens if I don't finish it in time? Was it that big a difficult decision? or is thesis actually
Okay.
easier than compared to doing two extra courses? Because even then you can mess up your GPA and things like that, right? Thesis is going to save you from all these things, and so I personally feel that thesis is something that is personal to you. It's your research, it's a product that is yours, and you have it on your resume, which nobody else will have. You will possibly be the expert in that field when you graduate. It's something that's your own, and in an interview you will be able to talk about it, right? You'll be able to proudly talk about it. So I feel that way, but I get the opinion that a lot of people think that it's not for me, and that's the first thing that comes to their, even without knowing what a thesis is, people come here and immediately transfer back to MCS, and I don't understand why that people who have not even attempted what a thesis is get opinion from people who have not even attempted a thesis and follow blindly. I don't know why the stigma is there. Do you guys know why the stigma is there?
Okay. So basically, it's the herd mentality. So when you are in a place like ASU, you have, I mean, let's just talk about the Indian community since everybody is familiar with that. So imagine that every year around 300, 400 people are coming here. When everybody tells you that, okay, this is not the way to do it, this is the way to do it. I mean, you are coming to a totally new country. Okay, everybody is nervous. I was nervous when I came here because it's a totally new country. I don't know whether I'll be able to manage the load or not. So, but the uh, main thing is you should, I mean, that's my personal opinion. You may or you may not agree with it. The thing is that I say that, see, when you do an undergrad, you are learning about engineering. You want to become a computer engineer. So as an undergrad, you have to know everything, all the stuff. At least you should know the basics. Now, when you are going into something for a master's, so just the word says like master's. So you have to be focused on a few areas that are, I mean, of your interest, because you are going to go very deep into it. Whether it's a thesis or a non-thesis, both the cases, you are doing advanced courses, and you need a certain level of interest in the course that you are going to do. Otherwise, it's going to be a real pain. And I mean, the frustration, if you take a course that you don't like and you don't want to study and you are taking it just because everybody else is saying that you should take it, the frustration is a bit too much. Sometimes I have seen people go through it. So as far as my case is concerned, peer pressure is something that you have to handle. It's a personal thing. You have to handle it yourself. There will be people who will tell you that, okay, don't take this course because it is too tough. I mean, a course being tough is based on the individual. What is tough for me might not be tough for Vidit. What is tough for him may not be tough for me. So it all depends on what you want to do, what are your areas of interest, and I just feel that's the only thing that you should really worry about. Where doing a thesis is concerned, obviously you have to be very, very, very interested into that subject. And so you're saying that, I mean, you just said that people feel that the thesis is not for me. So one thing is I would like to clarify that what is a thesis? It is just one project that you do in your area of interest, and you show that something like this has not been done before. For a master student, this something, I mean, the innovative part is a bit relaxed as compared to a PhD. So that I will say. So master thesis is not that difficult as a PhD thesis. If you go into the level of, I mean, the new things that you have to do. So PhD thesis involves a lot more stuff than a master's thesis. So master thesis basically, it just take any course project. I mean, I'm just giving an example, and give your own contribution to it. I mean, you can always Google stuff and get help on that, but you have to show that, okay, this part, especially this part, is your own contribution, and that's all that matters. So you have to work hard. I mean, even if you take courses, you have to work hard. So there is no workaround around that part. You have to work hard. So my last semester, I was concentrating only on the thesis. So I didn't have any other thing to worry about. Luckily, I had a job by then, so that was not a problem for me. So if you are going to just concentrate on one single project, I don't think thesis should be a big deal. I mean, where
Perfect.
it's that you cannot complete it or anything like that.
Perfect. That's
That's
what I
my
wanted. That's what I wanted to hear from you. That was perfect. That's a
Raghav,
that's, yeah, yeah, Vidit.
if you don't mind, can I add a bit to it?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
2 minutes.
sure. We have some questions, so like, keep it
Yeah,
short.
just
But
two
yeah,
minutes.
sure,
Just 2 minutes.
sure, sure, sure.
So I would like to add one thing here that I was not a thesis student. I converted my thesis to MCS after my second semester, but it does not mean I didn't do research. It's not necessary to be in thesis to do research. I have
Perfect.
one journal paper and two conference papers. paper, which I published in my last 2 semesters with Dr. Wenwen Lee. And I also want to tell that there are people like you can take wrong decisions while being there in ASU, like, but don't panic. As just Raghav said, that there can be a step which is wrong, but it does not matter. This is how you learn and how you go ahead. I decided to choose Dr. Huan Liu, but there were some problems with me, and then that's why I have to change my professor. But I was so much interested into research that I have to like I wanted to do some research. That's it. But then I joined this lady, Dr. Wenwen Lee, with whom I took a course in second semester, and I liked her research interest, which was a hybrid of geography and computer science, because she has done her undergrad in computer science and then PhD and masters in geography. So after that, I worked with her. I liked her work, but the department was not ready to take me as a thesis student with her because she was in geography department. So I continued my research and published papers, and that really helped me.
That's
Okay, and
yeah,
another point I would like to add. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Since we are on the track of the thesis and the research stuff, so I have been also guilty of this. So there is a trend that you should contact professors before coming to ASU regarding getting an RA or a TA. And I was one of the people who mailed the professors saying that is it possible to get RA under you and funding. Okay, so that's I would like to say that that's totally the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah.
Best if you are really interested in research, which I believe at the beginning of the MS most people are before coming to ASU. So just look around at the projects that you can do, or at least the areas. Then look for the professors in those areas, and then just go and talk to them. Here the professors are very approachable. You can just go to their cabin, just find out when their office hours are, just go there directly, meet them personally, discuss your interest, and you never know, maybe a professor will have a project ready for you. He just is looking for people to work under him. So, I mean, the best way to go about is don't even think of email right now, because they don't check the emails. Okay, and doing a thesis also does not mean you will get an RA. I did my thesis. I never got any funding from my professor. Neither did I
No, that's
ask for
correct.
it.
Because even I did. I mean, I was a master's student from electrical engineering, and I was my thesis in electrical engineering was not funded. But in the middle of my masters, I started working with this guy from computer science, Baushin Lee, and he was funding for my masters, in the hope that I'll join his PhD. So I finished my electrical and I joined this lab for PhD in computer science. So I was able to shift my department completely, and I was not funded from my master's professor. I was funded from a PhD professor for my master's when I was doing my master's. So I was doing research with two people simultaneously. I was actually doing research with another person at the same time, which I couldn't because I didn't have the bandwidth to do that research. You can actually do that. You can talk to multiple professors at the same time and work with multiple professors at the same time. Even that is actually possible, and I'm sure it will be hectic, but it will be possible. And for me, my funding came from a different source of research, and my thesis was going in a different source of research. I'm still actually publishing with my master's professor, even after finishing my master's 2 years ago. So I'm still doing that. So, Vidit Bhatia said, research and thesis doesn't actually have to go together. Also, you can do research with somebody, and you can do thesis with somebody, and you can publish on both the topics also. You can publish on your own also if you want. I know people who've done that also. So, okay, we've had a long discussion on research when there is only one question on research. So let's move on. Is Vamsidhar on the? Yeah, I think he's on, right? Yeah, Vamsidhar. He has asked a question. Do you want to ask it here, Vamsidhar, or is he online? I see him.
I think
Okay, I think we can just read out the question.
Okay, so his question is, I guess both of you can answer this. How was the internship and post-MS opportunity for CS students this year? There's a lot of rumors that this year CS jobs are not available, and CS and electrical jobs are not available. I don't know if they're rumors or if they're true. You guys will be able to say, but there is this thing that everybody is taking the same courses as the seniors took, but the seniors have got jobs and they have not. And there's also a fear that if you come to universities like ASU, you won't get jobs. Let's address this every question that's on this jobs topic at once. Like, is that true, or is that a stereotype that ASU students don't get jobs?
Vidit,
Yeah.
yeah, Vidit, you can start.
Yeah.
There
So
is no. I want to ask another question on. I want to combine two questions that are here on this topic simultaneously right now. One of them is, what courses should you take to get a job, or are there any courses that you take you are guaranteed a job? Is there anything like if you take this course you will definitely get a job? On the other hand,
That's a
is there,
favorite topic.
or is there, yeah, so I want to ask another question which is also on the same topic so we can combine and answer them all together. The other question is the reverse of it. Is there any courses or anything that you do which will let you not get a job, which will make you not get a job? So is there a success secret formula like a shampoo which you take it and you get a job, or how is it, or how is it? Because I get this from electrical students on particular topics like VLSI and things like that. But now it's a computer science forum, so everybody says that computer science students easily get job, but that was broken this time because apparently a lot of people didn't get job, which I'm not sure of, which I think you guys will be able to talk better. And also there's this thing that when I came in my year, an internship ratio of 2%, 5% among the students is considered high. Nobody even tried for internships. We thought internships are difficult, and we always focused on doing research or something like that because we took pride in it. But nowadays, the scenario is you come here and you get an internship. If you don't get an internship, it's considered a failure. So is it? It's like if you don't get an internship, you won't get a job. And here with it, you had an internship and you converted it into a full-time job, right? So I want to know, is internship that important for a job? So it means that do you not, if you not get an internship, will you not get a job? Or are there courses which you take, you're guaranteed a job? So how is it, what do you have to do to get a job? Or is there one single path?
Okay, so there are like so much questions asked together, but yeah, I will try to answer them all of them like to the best of my abilities. So first of all, there is no such course which will lead you to a job. Okay, but there are courses which help you in your industries. Like few courses which are very hot, and if you take those courses, they won't lead you to a job, but yeah, they will help you if you will be in industry and if you have to do some similar work. So, first of all, being in an industry, what I can tell you is companies are hungry. They are so much looking for good resources. And I again point out good resources. If you are good, companies will die to get you, but you should be good. You should be unique. You should have your own identity, and you should be able to like prove it that you are unique and you are good. So and taking all the same courses.
I wanna stop you right there. That's a thing that I actually wanted you guys to talk about, and you hit it right on the point. You said you have to be unique, but how can anybody be unique when everybody takes the same set of 12 courses among 10? Let's say there are 12 different courses and everybody takes 10. I was at Intel and I was looking at some resumes for an internship position. My manager was just showing them around. It's not like I'm hiding or anything, but I just saw it, and I find that there is a resume, and if I just change the name and the email ID, I get another person's resume. The projects are the same, the words on the projects are the same, the courses are the same, the GPAs are similar, the references are the same, their everything, the entire content of the resume is same. So how do I? Why does this happen that everybody has the same resume, and most, even among the people with the same resume, some people get a job? Is that completely random, or first, how do you take this thing out that everybody has the same resume? I cannot believe that entire ASU community who are doing masters has the same exact interests. That is somehow a little unbelievable to me that everybody is interested in the same course. I know that some courses are very interesting, but uh, like having 10 courses that are exactly the same, that cannot happen. As a human being, you cannot have a civilization where everybody has the same interests, right? So how does that happen among computer science? Or is it like computer science students come to ASU with these particular 10 courses in mind, so that's why you get this? Is it something like that, or is it this? And if so, like the way you said it, you have to be unique when you have a resume. So how do you be unique when you have the same sort? Forget thesis, now you're talking about people who don't do a thesis. So they have courses to take, they have projects to do. How can you bring independence and uniqueness into your resume when you're doing this?
So yeah, being unique is very important. And so first of all, uh, there is this problem in all the forums that people guide that take these courses. No, you have to take the courses which interest you. I will give you an example, a very clear example. After coming back from internship, I did my internship with Adobe and I was working with Adobe Connect, which is a online conferencing portal like Hangout, you can say. Or if someone is in industry and using Cisco WebEx, they would know it better. So found out that while working there, I had lacked in knowledge about video processing, because it's very important to online web conferencing tools. So I went and decided to take this digital video processing course. I don't care if anyone else is taking this course or there are more students or us. The thing only I see is I mailed I mailed the professor who was taking that course. Unfortunately, he has left our
Okay, with you.
yeah, he has left our university, unfortunately, but he was a very fine professor. I mailed him and I asked him, I want to work on this and I have this interest, will you be touching all these things in your course? And you won't believe, I got a reply in 15 minutes. That was the fastest and prompt reply. And when I saw that this professor has replied, I was like, no matter whatever it is, I'm gonna take this course because this professor is considerate. I read his email reply, and he was like that he addressed all my questions, and I really liked it, and I took that course. Second thing is that my team at that time was moving towards making a learning management system. So I decided to take another course, which was technologies for online learning communities. Now, such things should decide what courses you want to take. Such it should draw your career, and should lead to you to taking courses, not some XYZ person who got in Amazon, who got in Microsoft, who got in Adobe, or who got in Intel, that I took these courses, you take these courses, you will get an internship. No, you won't. You have to decide your own path, you have to be unique, and you have to be good, and people will die to take it. I would like to ask Ashwin to add on this if you have something.
Yeah, I mean, where at least where being unique is concerned, I mean, what's the big deal? Everybody is unique. You don't have to try to be unique or something like that. Just follow your interest. That's all. Nothing else. There is no secret to being unique or anything like that.
Okay, what's the secret to get a job then, from your
Okay.
perspective? He said that you have to be
Okay.
unique. So
Okay.
what do you think is the secret to get a good
Yeah.
job?
Yeah. Okay. I'll just start with the question. So, MS internship and job opportunities for CS people is comparatively better than other branches. We have to accept that. It's comparatively better. I won't say it's very good, but it's comparatively better as compared to the other branches because CS companies generally tend to take international students. So that's the one main handicap which other branches have, because like mechanical companies and all, they have projects related to security of the, I mean, US security projects and all, so they are not allowed to take. So if you are in CS, where the number of opportunities are concerned, I think they're huge.
Okay, that's
Only
good.
thing,
That's good.
yeah,
That's good and very
yeah. So
encouraging.
I just
But
yeah that
but what do you have to do to get an internship and a job?
I,
Do you have a secret sauce?
okay, what to do to get an internship? I'm not the correct person because I didn't get an internship.
Full-time job.
Okay,
You are
so
placed in Microsoft, so you should now tell me.
yeah, I mean, yeah, so yeah, I'll just start with the internship thing first. So I was trying very hard for getting an internship.
Actually,
I
Ashwin,
did a
I'm
yeah.
sorry to interrupt before you start answering. You are a fine
Hmm.
example for a person who didn't get an internship, but is possibly one of the most successful students here. So people think that if you don't get an internship, your life is ruined. Or people actually feel there's this peer pressure that you have to fight for an internship, and the moment you lose an internship or you don't get an internship or you don't get a GPA good enough to get a internship, people lose their self confidence completely. That is another reason why the GPAs consistently go down after summer session. And so you didn't have an internship, but you're now placed in Microsoft, and you did a research
Hmm.
thesis in the last 1.5 semesters also. So tell me, like, you don't have an internship, so you are the perfect person to answer this question. How do you get a job?
Yeah, I mean, where not getting an internship is concerned, even I thought that, okay, I'm ruining my chances of getting a full-time job. I mean, the thing is that when everybody says it, okay, you also start believing it to a certain extent. Okay, so internship, what to get? I was trying till March, around till the end of March, but then I got a good project over the summer in another department, life sciences department. So where I was doing a part-time job, so they were just revamping the whole thing, and it was a pretty start from scratch project. So I wanted to be a part of it, so I agreed to work with them over the summer. And April onwards, I practically stopped looking for internships. But then I saw that around May, in the month of May, many people got internships. So I was feeling a bit bad. I would admit that maybe if I tried more, I might have got, but doesn't matter now. Where full-time job opportunities and getting a full-time job, the secret is to start early. main thing.
Amsaleka also has a follow-up question on that. What are the companies that one can apply for? Is there any specific set of companies that we have to apply? Or on another way of putting the same question, another interesting way of putting the same question is, how do you know that that's a job opening? And do you know by references, or do you just apply online? Or how much important is a reference and how much important is applying online?
Okay.
How important is applying on a career fair? And basically, how do you know where to apply?
Uh, if I show you guys my data sheet,
Okay. So basically, it's quite. Yeah, yeah.
go ahead, Ashwin, you if you want to take the question.
Yeah, okay. So as I said, the thing is to apply early. Now, how do you know which companies to apply? The list is practically infinite. I mean, it's similar in a sense to the way you all have like tried shortlisting your universities. You go by your interest, I guess, and there is a huge number of universities here, and so how do you decide which universities you want to apply,
Yeah.
right? So it's practically quite similar to that. Only thing, the number of companies are much more. So the secret, at least in my case, I believe, is just getting used to the rejects. Okay, I didn't have an internship, so I had, I started applying. I mean, I got this talk from a cousin of mine who is working here, and then I really started applying seriously from, I think, September of 2013. So maybe the best portal that I have found for CS people, at least for job applications, is LinkedIn. Okay, if you just look at the job search portion of LinkedIn, it's amazing. You have such great filters, and I mean, daily I would see around maybe 50, 60 job openings being put up daily. Okay, they are for different positions, so you can start depending on your experience level and the company and stuff like that. So LinkedIn is a great job portal for that. There is ASU Career Fair, of course. That's the best chance to get a I mean, direct contact with the company. It's not email, it's very personal. Then there are some other websites, like I believe Indeed.com is one, and Glassdoor also has job opening stuff. So the job openings are huge, and you just have to search a hell lot over the internet to get the openings. And then, of course, if you have a specific company in mind, you just go to that company's career website, and you'll find all the job openings that they have. So these are the way you can get the job openings. Now, when you're looking for a full-time job, there is a high chance that you do get interview calls very frequently. It's much more interview calls than I would say an internship application process. So one strategy, if at all you want to call it, I would say, if there is a if there are specific companies that you want to aim for, let's say Microsoft or Google or Facebook or Amazon or something like that, don't apply to them very early. The key part is, let's say you apply in Amazon. Now, Amazon has a policy that you can give an interview only once in 6 months. So if you take an interview and God forbid you don't manage to get through, so you lose out quite a bit of time. So in my case, I had at least around, before Microsoft interview, I had around 8 or 9 other companies that I interviewed with. All of them ended up in rejects. And maybe the first 2-3 times I really felt very bad. Like it is a very depressing thing that you really try, you work hard, you study a lot for the interviews. You think maybe you have done well, but you don't get the job offer. It's a very depressing feeling. But after the third reject, I was kind of getting used to it. Okay, so that puts you in a frame of mind where, okay, if you are getting rejects, fine, let them come. Somebody or the other is going to like my profile and like my work, and they are going to select. So that's the attitude that I developed after, I think, getting 3-4 rejects. I got 4 or 5 more rejects, and then suddenly out of the blue got an offer from Microsoft. So even that was also something totally unplanned, because where my experience is concerned, it has nothing to do with Microsoft. I never had any experience with .NET. I never know you. I didn't even use Windows for that matter. Okay, and right now I'm in
Yeah,
with one of the Windows services team here. Okay, so it was totally unplanned, and the way I gave my resume to Microsoft was, they had come to the career fair and they had an info session around, I think, 2 days before the career fair. I was not even going to go to that info session. I had gone for a Citrix info session because Citrix was working in some areas that I was interested in, and the Citrix guys didn't turn up. We waited there for 1 hour, and after 1 hour was Microsoft info session in just the next room. So I just, okay, since I have come with my resume printers, might as well go and give it. Who knows? I mean, doesn't harm trying, right?
Hmm.
So I gave my resume there, and they said that, okay, if you have given your resume, you don't have to stand in that huge line for the career fair. So I said, fine. And then the way the things worked out was that after around, I think, 10 days or something, they gave a call for an on-campus interview, which was around 30 minutes. And I cleared that, and then we were given on-site calls, and that was one full day of, I think, 4 or 5 interviews non-stop. And yeah, you just need a bit of luck on that day. That's all. I mean,
Did,
it's not all luck. You have to keep preparing. You have to keep practicing. I mean, the interview questions are similar to what we have in India, maybe slightly tougher for the bigger companies. So you just have to go to the Career Cup, Glassdoor. Then there is the what is that
LinkedIn?
book? No, there is a very popular book. I forgot the title now. Crack the Coding Interview.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's a very helpful book.
Hmm.
So there are many things. It's just practice, and just get used to the rejects. Get done with the rejects as early as you can, because you need time to get the accepts also. So
Yeah,
I don't think there
that's
is any specific course that you can take to get a job.
so
I
here's the
totally
reason why
disagree to that.
I did not want to talk on this because I didn't have a job. I got an intern and I got it purely because of reference. And I want to stress the importance of how important it is to have a reference. Network, be on the lookout for networking always. I got my intern because some friend of mine was working in the same intern and he was leaving and I was also working on the same research topic that the company was working in. So he recommended and I just went and said hi to the manager and I got a job. That's how I got my intern. I got my intern as a PhD student. With it, but yeah, do you want? You were waiting to add on to something, and you can also take another question, which is just come in on the same topic. Like, what are the common mistakes that people make on the resumes while applying for internships? And also, there's one that if one does not, Prasad Pisal asked this, if one does not get an internship, can we still do some research at school? And most importantly, I want to take this question: what are the common mistakes that are done in a resume? The question is for internships, but I think we can address the same thing for full-time jobs also.
So, uh, I will start from the same sentence which I was saying. If I show you my data sheet, I used to apply to at least 100 postings daily, and I did that continuously for 2 months. Before getting an interview call from Amazon, Adobe, and Microsoft, I was being rejected by 30 companies
Can you mark?
on phone interviews as well as physical interviews in Phoenix. So what I want to point out here is that the main thing if you want to get a job is apply to every opportunity that you can find. There are companies like there are websites like techcrunch.com. Go read the news. You will get to know the latest technologies that are going on in the market. You will get to know the new startups that are coming up, who is making more money, who is going down, and everything. Go on Crunchbase. That's another place where you can find companies. I also used to search top 100 companies in software in US. I used to get a list. Start from the first company, go to their portal, find internship opportunities, apply. One thing, every application takes approximately 5 to 10 minutes, and first time takes like 1 hour because you have to make your whole you have to enter all your information. But after, when you apply, try to make your resume a bit customized to that particular job. And there is one more thing, as he said, cracking the coding interview. That's more important. You guys would be free nowadays. Try to complete that book in like 1 month or whatever time you have. That's not very hard to do. After that, if you want to try for internship, there is a website which is called careercup.com. I don't know, Raghav, if you will like this answer or not, but if you want to get into Amazon, you just have to study careercup.com, and you have to follow the questions on that particular website for the last 1 month. If you will solve all those 1 month questions, man, I don't bet, but yeah, there is a very high chance that you will get into Amazon. That's how I got into Amazon. And so, next thing, what should be on your resume? Good, unique projects on resume looks very good. Okay, first of all, your resume should be precisely of 1 page. A resume which is more than 2 pages is very bad. I would like to highlight this through an example. I was once talking to a person from eBay, and I was like, "Sir, I can't make my resume in 1 page. Can you like, can you please tell why you forced it to be one page? So you know the answer he gave. He said, I have 15 years of experience. I can make my resume in one page. You are a fresher. You can't make your resume in just one page. I was like, I have to. So then I concise my resume into one page. So they are very much like they really take this, that how you present the information, it should be precise and it should represent you. Second thing, it should have as much keywords as possible, because when your resume goes into the database and the HR person tries to search for it, they try to search for keywords. And if your resume is a perfect combination of good keywords and tags, it will always be floating up in the resumes that will they will get as a result. That's it for resume. That's it for internship and resume from my side.
Before you go to the next one, there is this thing that engineering career services that ASU has, and there's this lady called Karen Kowal who's considered the guru of resumes.
Oh man,
Some
no,
people have some opinion, some people have some other opinions. For me, it was very
no.
helpful. Particularly for me, it was very helpful. Do you have another
Okay, I
opinion
want
on
to
that?
take this.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashwin, you go ahead.
Yeah.
But I have very bad
See,
experience with Karen. I would like to talk about
yeah,
that a
yeah,
bit as well.
yeah,
No, I had a very good experience. She gave
yeah. I
me
know what.
amazing resume. But the thing is, see, I didn't go for a resume. I went for a CV. So she had more number of pages to work with, and we made an amazing CV. And it's quite effective. I have a very effective CV now because of this. I mean, I'm not really put it to really good use or anything yet, but you know, the people at Intel who hired me were
Okay.
immediately impressed with the way that my CV looks. And I'm a PhD student, so I need to have a CV. I don't need to have a resume. I need to have a lot of publications on it. I need to have the longer the CV, it's better for me. I mean, I cannot write junk on it, but I need a long resume, a long CV. So we had a lot of space to work with, and she also helped me do my website. Um, um, because for PhD students, the website is our CV. We don't usually have a resume that goes out. They look at our websites for our projects and links and things like that. And she gave me amazing ideas. Like if you go to a job fair, take a presentation with you or take a portfolio with you, do something different. Like make a presentation or make show your portfolio if you have time to talk to them. If you even if you go to an interview, you can voluntarily take some slides of your thesis or your projects that you've done and show them, and maybe small kits or small pieces of code, and you can go and show them that somebody took a tablet and showed them their project on the tablet or something like that. So she gave me those kind of ideas which actually work. I know people who have gotten things. I know that she has a lot of mixed opinions, and I have heard these mixed opinions quite a lot. I've heard a lot of negative opinions also, but for me, it has been a pleasant ride with her, and she has given me a lot of helpful insights. Not particularly in the job market, but in terms of like what a resume is, what a CV is, what a website is, and how they work, and how to write a good summary and objective. And she really branded. Me as a PhD student with my CV and my website and everything and my projects and everything. So yeah, Ashwin, yeah, you and me can talk.
Okay, yeah. So, I never went to the career services, honestly, because I found something much better than that. So you don't need any other professional to review your resume. You can just do it yourself. So I had a group of friends. So what we did was there were around 7, 8 people. We created some fake job postings. That okay, we are going to apply for these particular job postings. Everybody came with their resumes, and everybody has everybody's resume copies. So like 8 people, everybody has each other's resumes with them. And now it's our duty that okay, let's say I have the bunch of resumes. I want to shortlist out of let's say 9. I want to shortlist 2 resumes that I'm going to take for that particular job position. So I put myself as an HR. Okay, and the thing that we found out was that when you put yourself in this position, you know what they are looking for. You don't have that much time. Just like search through 9 resumes in 2 minutes. That's the way to go about it. So what you actually look for in a resume, you will find that. So I think that worked very well for me at least. So I think you all can try that, and that has been better than any other career services or things like that.
Brilliant, man. This is this is the reason why I wanted you guys. I know that you get these kind of ideas, and I know that these actually work. And you're not the first kind of gang to have done this. I know people have done similar things, and it actually
Yeah,
works.
I
But,
know.
but if I tell students like, okay, you can create your own job postings and have your resume checked with each other, nobody takes it seriously. Or they just say, okay, no, I don't want to waste time with this. And what else? Okay, very good topic that
And
we've had. A
that
very good discussion we have
yeah,
had on this.
yeah, and the discovery is every you just look at the first one half or maybe the first 3/4 of the resume. So everything that you need to highlight, just put it there,
Yeah,
basically.
the summary or the objective line, right?
No, not that. Even the
Hmm.
courses and the projects, till the projects.
Hmm.
The projects are
Ashwin,
very
so
important. Yeah.
we have covered this topic with like several questions on the same topic
Hmm.
simultaneously in the answer,
Yeah.
but
So let's go the yeah.
you've
Let's
still not answered one question which I want you to answer, one particular important question
okay.
which I want you to answer.
Okay. Hmm.
Is internship important? If you don't have an internship, is it that you don't get a job, or how important is it? And I'm assuming right now, looking at ISSO reports, that 35% of students, graduate students, get an internship. Is this a small
Hmm.
number, or is this a worrying number, or is this a good number? What do you say it is?
I mean,
Is it really that important, or why is there that everybody wants an internship? And what do you advise to people who have not got an internship, or who already have self doubt that they don't get an internship and that's the end of their career? On the same topic,
no, it's
how
not.
important is
Yeah.
GPA for a job? How important is internship for a job? How important is GPA for a job? How important is research for a job? Just a quick word on this, and
Yeah.
with it, you also can answer the same question.
Yeah. It is good to have those things. A good GPA, an internship, good projects. It is good, but it's not the only thing that matters. So basically, if you don't get an internship, no worries. You can take me as an example. I didn't get an internship. I got a full-time job. Fine. It might be a bit more difficult if you don't have industry experience. It might be. It's not necessary that. Okay, but basically, it will help you only maybe to get an interview call. Then you are on your own. It doesn't help beyond that. It all depends on how you do your interviews, whether you manage to do it well or whether you screw it up or whatever it is. So it can help you just to get to the interview call, but it's not a necessity. And
With it,
GPA, I think if you get
oh,
even 3 and above, it's fine. Yeah.
with it,
Yeah, so GPA. GPA is important only if you have a GPA more than 3.5. A bad GPA like 3, 3.2, 3.3 is not entertained. And that's again not a hard and fast rule, because I've seen people who have 3.2, 3.1 GPA and they have landed up in very good companies. So again, I will come back to my earlier answer. If you are good, people will die to take you. They will come to your home, they will take you to their company, and they will pay you as much as you want. You should be good, okay? And second thing, internship. Internship is a very good part. You know why? Because we get to know about US culture in industry, because it's totally different from back in India, and we get to know a lot of other things. And as Ashwin just said, a good internship on your resume with a good company name helps you to get a lot of interview. I got an interview with Google in my fourth semester just because I had this Adobe and internship on my resume. I literally, I should not use F word, but I F it up. And I went to three interviews, which was like, I thought that I have accomplished a lot. They were really the most rigorous interviews I went through. But I think that I didn't had enough preparation, and I will try for that again. But yeah, internships help. They help you to understand the industry, they help you to get an insight into industry. And my last two semesters in ASU were fully dependent on what I learned in my internship, because it's a very good experience. I took all my courses because it gives me an insight into how I should look at the industry, and what more I should study in my college to enhance my skills and stuff like that. But yeah,
if I want to, yeah, yeah.
if you don't have an internship, it's okay. You can still try to enhance your knowledge by working in a professor, because professors also get real time industry projects. But do something. Don't sit idle. Just don't think that I have lost everything in my life and I don't want to do anything. No, work for something else. If you don't get an internship, work for a project. If you don't get a project into under a professor, work on your own projects. There are a lot of ideas which are there out in market. Think and work. That's it.
Okay.
Perfect.
So if ever I wanted to highlight something on what you said, it's the fact that no matter what it is, just study what you want to study and do what you want to do instead of following
Yeah.
someone else's path or someone else's image. Because I feel like from what you guys are saying, I mean, I'm not a person who has never had a job, and I didn't have a good GPA also. I had like a 3.2 GPA on my master's first semester, and I graduated with a 3.48 or something on my master's. In PhD so far, I take only one course per semester, so I have a 4 GPA. In fact, I failed one of my prerequisite courses when I joined my computer science, data structures or something, and I had to do it again. So it's not really. I mean, I'm not really the kind of guy to answer that. So I was playing the host in this conversation among you guys. But from what you guys are saying, I would say that the highlight of this answer for this entire question on jobs and internships and resumes should be like, focus on your course that you want to do and look for jobs in your course or look for jobs in your area because you don't want to be stuck with things that you don't want to do. And internship is not the end of the deal, although it helps. That's what I hear. Is that correct?
Yeah. I want to say one thing. So there are a lot of follow-up questions on this question document. I just want to tell few people who are sending the questions. I don't think either Raghav or Ashwin or Vidit Bhatia is gonna say, go and pluck that mango from the tree, eat it, you will be happy. We are discussing it here. You have to take things back from your discussion, from this discussion, take notes and decide on your own. We are not gonna say that there's a question like, so do you recommend to go for the career service? It's up to you, man. If you think Raghav has a very good experience, I had a bad experience. He didn't even go to career services. So take from this discussion and decide on your own. And for the second part, it's free. You don't have to pay anything. Yeah, go ahead, Raghav.
I was going to ask the same question. Do you have to pay for career services? Because I
No,
didn't pay anything.
it's free.
But
It's free.
yeah, what Virit said is perfect in the sense that you guys, that's the reason why we are deliberately not trying to give you a hard answer and our answers are longer. We don't want to tell you anything that sounds like spoon feeding. We don't want to tell you that, okay, follow this. After saying all these things that you shouldn't follow somebody blindly, we don't want to say something that you will make you guys follow blindly. We want to tell you, okay, we did this is our experience, and that's why I got two other people here who wanted to share their experience. It's all very philosophical. You just have to like understand what you're saying and come here, look for yourself, and try to follow what you want to do. Like, don't ask questions like I see some questions here like, how should I take this course or whatever. We're not going to answer such questions. So it's up to you if you want to do something. Okay, so there's another topic which has like three or four questions, and I think we can club them together. What the hell is an I course and what the hell is an hybrid course? I have no idea what they are. I've never been a TA for them, and they started recently, so I've never taken an I course or never taken a hybrid course. I know what they are from a vague point of view, and I'm going to be a TA for a hybrid course next semester, but I have no idea how they work.
So yeah,
Wait, let me finish. There's a
yeah.
couple of more topics on top of this. How good are chances of getting a course overload petition? Oh, that's for prerequisites. Okay, let's cover prerequisites after this answer. For okay, what the hell is high course? What the hell is a hybrid course? And what is a lecture course? Which one is easier? Which one is better in terms of like interaction with professors or understanding? Or I mean, you cannot relive a class that you take real time, but you can relive a class in I course. And what is the fee? Is one expensive than the other? Or and how can you answer questions? How can you do assignments? What is it? I have no idea what it is.
So I would like to take this question because I took some of these courses. So I
Yes,
took
sir.
I took a hybrid course with Professor Andrew Rika, and that was DA. So I want to highlight about a bit. So that course is $50 more because it incurs a bit of more charge for the university because they have to record the lectures and then broadcast them, and then so they charge for, but that's $50. For the I course, it's totally different. They charge $1,200 for an I course. So what is a hybrid course? So what happens is that generally hybrid course works in either of the two ways. First is that there is a inline class course in which professor comes, take the class and teach student as general. And then those lectures are recorded and they are played back to the students. This is one way. Second way is that one of the professors took that course last year or last semester, and that particular lectures will be broadcasted to you. In both cases, you will have to see the lectures before coming to class. Now in hybrid course, what happens is you get a chance to come to the class for once a week. Other than like generally there are two classes a week, but you will get a chance to come once a week. You will have to watch the lectures for that particular week, come to the class and ask questions. It is as effective as the other thing, but I on the other hand think that it's more effective because I have access to the lectures all the time. I can go back and see those lectures again and again and again and again just for a $50 more. I took DA like that, and believe me, when you watch those lectures in advance and do some analysis on them and then go back to the class and ask questions from the professor, it's really very effective. And I took DA and I really loved it. Assignments and everything are exactly same. for a hybrid course and the other course. Now let's talk about the I course. In I course, the charges are $1,200 more. So $1,200 more, and it's generally, these courses are generally offered in summertime when students are out for internship or at their home with their family. So you can take those courses and it's $1,200 more. So how it works is that you will meet the professor on our online portal. Like fortunately, I'm working on Adobe Connect, and ASU use Adobe Connect for I courses. So the lectures will be given to you online. The assignments will be given to you online. You will have to learn on your own pace and submit those assignments. You can come on portals like Hangout or Adobe Connect, whatever the professor is comfortable with, and he will come and talk to you and try to answer your questions on online web conferencing tools. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I don't think we need to add anything onto it. When do we need to do IPOS, and when should we start working on a thesis? So let's leave the second part of the question out for now, because I think we have already had enough number of
Yeah,
discussions on it. The first part of the question is, when do we need to submit an IPOS? I want to talk about this in the sense that I really picked this question out because I want to talk about it. IPOS, people think is just a formality, and I'm sure you guys would have also thought about it in the same way. That it's just a formality that you have to do somewhere in the second semester, to just get it over. But actually, IPOS can be used as a very nice tool. It's a plan of study in the sense that you can actually pre-decide what you want to do, and if you think that it's a way for you to see, this semester I'm going to do this semester I'm going to do this in your first semester, and when you reach your second semester, you will definitely not do what the hypothesis is. You're going to do something different, because every semester your opinion and ideas about subjects are going to change. So you alter it, but you don't alter just that semester. You alter the rest of your degree program. And in your second semester and third semester, your IPOS is going to help in that moment when you're going to choose your courses. And I really think it's a good planning tool to do. On the other hand, the purpose of IPOS is for the graduate administration side of the department to understand what everybody is doing, and to see if your structure or your plan of study fits with the conditions that they have to give you a degree certificate. So if they don't like it, they're going to disagree with you, or if they like it, they're going to agree with you. And the most important thing that's used for IPOS is, if you decide your courses you want to do beforehand, and you write it in your IPOS, the scheduling team is going to prepare that many classes or seats open for you. So when you actually register for classes, it's a rat race right now, and I've written a document on the forum about the rat race also. And I've mentioned this, that you need to fill your IPOS in advance. If you It's a collective social effort that you have to do. If you fill your IPOS well enough in advance, it's going to be easy for them to schedule, and they're going to open up more classes for you. That's the thing about IPOS. You can actually finish it as early as you want, and you can keep changing it how many ever times you want. I don't know if it is the same for masters guys, but from the PhD, I can change it how many ever time I want. The only thing is, if you're filling an IPOS, make sure that you have an internship on your summer sessions, because I don't think they let you change it more than once or something like that. So yeah, fill it as early as you want. Make sure that you follow it. At least try to follow it. I'm sure it doesn't happen, but yeah. So anybody has anything to add on to it?
okay. Can I add something?
Yes, we do.
So the latest till what the time that you can stop for master students to fill IPOs is until end of second semester. You should fill your IPOs until end of second semester. I want to add two things. Make sure when you are adding IPOs, you add one course of CPT in summer and one course of CPT in fall. Because if you don't have a course of CPT in fall, they won't let you do internships. Sometimes they got extended. Sometimes you want to get more interested into a particular team and you want to work with more. So if you don't have a CPT added for fall of the next year from which you join, they won't let you extend your internship. Third thing is that, as Raghav said, that it helps the administration to decide on what courses you want to take. Moreover, with the IPOS, there is one more thing, that a lot of MS students try to convert it to MCS, and I think Ashwin went through this problem. So when you try to submit your IPOS after your second semester, you try to think at that time, do I still want to be in MS, or do I want to change to MCS? And that's the best time to change it from MS to MCS, or vice versa, if you want to do thesis with someone. That was the time when I decided that, okay, they are not allowing me to do thesis with this professor, I should change. And they let you do at that time because the number of credits are less. There are just like 18 credits, so it's not very hard for you to transfer all those to your MCS. But later, if you want to do it after third semester, you have 9 3 27 credits to transfer, which is very hard. Means you are almost taking all your MS efforts to MCS, which sometimes they don't allow. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks, Vidit. Let's see. There are some very specific questions. Let's get them over before we have another couple of topics, which are I think it will take a lot of time for us to discuss on. So one specific topic, I think it's for you, Ashwin. Can you shed some light on embedded OS internals by Professor Skousen? Ashwin, is he here? Or did we lose him? Oh, he's muted. Why is he muted? Ashwin, you're not muted. Okay. Vidit, do you know this course?
No, sir, I haven't taken this
Okay,
course.
we'll come back to it when Ashwin is available. What are the chances of successes on filing a course overload petition to take a prerequisite course in addition to my graduate? Okay, let me read it again. What are the chances of successes on filing a course overload petition to take a prerequisite course in addition to my graduate course? Oh, okay, I understand. So in prerequisite course, what are the? Oh, wait.
No, the
Oh, so they
question.
want to take the prerequisite course along with the original course. Is Wahid Basim online? I think he asked the question. Okay, I don't see him online.
Okay.
Do you understand with it?
Yeah, so I actually understand this question. I would try to reframe it. So he's asking that there are graduate courses. Can I take an undergrad course? Oh yeah, of course. You have to pay and you can take that course. You just have to go and talk to the CITSI advising. It will be Cynthia or Christopher for you. Go and tell them I'm interested in that course. They will allow you to that course if there are seats.
Okay, okay, I understand the question. Okay, there's another very specific question. Do we have Ashwin back online? Okay. Why do we need medical insurance for OPT?
Because you are a student.
Oh, that's a very good question. Here's something that happened. For me, when I joined my C, oh, for OPT, fine. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, true. I thought it was for CPT. For CPT, I had the option of using either ASU insurance or Obamacare or Intel insurance, and I didn't know about Obamacare at the time. A couple of months ago, so I registered with ASU insurance. I found out that my employer Intel actually gives me a cheaper insurance with a lot more benefits than ASU does. My insurance was $200, and they were offering me dental and optical and everything. I could have had my teeth checked and my eyes checked with the insurance. I didn't know it. So if you're getting a CPT or something, first ensure that your employer has a good insurance, and you can better insurance than ASU, you can take it. So yeah, that's a
Uh,
question. That's
I want to add something to it.
yes, Vidit.
ASU is not good with this. They are like the worst university I've ever seen. Why? Because go to the best company, go to Google, and the insurance that Google gives you cannot match the specifications given by ASU for the for your insurance. Because I tried doing that last year when I was with Adobe. I applied for their insurance and then I talked to these people that this is my insurance. Would you waive my insurance off? Because that was free for me and my Adobe would have taken care of all the expenses. It was I have to pay like $1.5 per month, which was very cheap. So, but they were like, no, they don't match our specifications. So the insurance that they give you from Aetna is very high, and I don't know Raghav which insurance you were into, but there is hardly any
I was
insurance
also
which are.
into it at ASU, but Intel was offering me a different insurance, and I think ASU now allows affordable care also. The
Oh,
Obamacare,
okay,
they
okay.
also allow that, I guess. It'll be, I think Obamacare will be taken as a tax, and so it'll work like it's work similar to SSN.
Oh, okay.
So let's see. Another question that we have very specific is: are there any disadvantages in taking two courses under the same professor in the same semester? No, and I would say it actually helps. It's actually helpful because the professor sees you more often.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Do you need any experience for making thesis before being an RA at ASU?
So
Um, I really don't understand this question. Okay, here's the thing. If you're going to a professor to ask for thesis, they actually expect you to know nothing because you are a new student coming here, and they expect you to know nothing basically. So but what they expect from you is they expect you to have the sincerity, and they expect you to do the hard work required to finish the project for them. They expect you to learn. So when you go to a new professor, don't use big buzzwords and use words which you actually don't understand, right? Because you don't want to give an impression that you are just words. And a lot of people do this. They go to their professors, they go to some professor and tell them that, okay, I've read your paper, I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that. And nobody actually understands that, okay, I don't know anything, right? But I want to do something. I'm interested. Nobody uses those kind of words. When you go, you're not expected to know anything. So don't even think that you need big experience or anything. It helps, but it's not really necessary. All they expect from you is the sincerity and the interest to work.
And when you actually use big buzzwords, trust me, they know much, much more than you.
Of course.
Yeah, so you cannot fool them.
Okay, then for Ashwin, attributes-based encryption. What was the programming skills required? I think there's another question on the same topic. Let me read that out.
Okay.
Uh, okay, just for just that for now. And I think Srirang has asked a follow-up on the same topic. How was your experience with Professor Scouts? Okay, how was your experience with your topic, attribute-based experience, and what was the skills required?
Skill set is basically, I found out that there is a library which I think some people from Stanford University have created for the encryption. So, and that's a basic Unix library. So I just had to modify it a bit. So it was basic C programming, nothing hi-fi as such. So, and where all these things are concerned, the programming language doesn't really matter. You can do that in any programming language. So any basic programming skill that you have, that's much more than enough. So you don't need very high programming skills. And coming to the previous question, embedded operating system internals. Well, I don't know because I never took that course. I was a TA under Professor Skousen for the undergrad operating systems course. So yeah, so I can't really answer that question where the course is concerned.
I don't hear anything.
He's done, Raghav. You can go ahead with the second question.
Yeah, I think I got disconnected. I just came back. Okay, there is another question. How do you put time for thesis? How many months, total hours? Does it span over multiple semesters or professor demands? Here's the thing, okay? The people who ask me how much time do you spend for thesis? Believe me, if you're doing a thesis, you will forget about your classes. You will not care about your GPA. That will be yours, and you take it up as it is yours. It's your project. You're in command. You will own it, and you'll want to wake up and every morning and you'll want to go and work on this. So in fact, you should ask me the question the other way around. If you do thesis, do I even should care about my courses? My answer will be really interested very little. And having said that, if you're doing thesis, most probably the courses that you take will be on related topics, right? Your professors will make you take courses on the related topics, and that will be the thesis work that you do will span your entire period of time. So don't worry about times and how much months. I know people who have taken 3 years to finish their thesis. Ashwin took less than 6 months, 7 months to finish his thesis. I know people who have done 3 months to finish their thesis also in the last semester. So yeah, I cannot answer that question. How long does it take to span? It depends on your caliber. It depends on your luck. It depends on the topic that you have taken. So yeah. Okay, moving on. We
See,
have
the
some very
basic answer for that is as long as it takes.
or rather, or
Yeah.
as short as it takes.
I want to add one
Yeah,
more thing.
whatever.
So I
Yes.
used to ask my geography professors that how much time does it take? She told me that when a professor gets fed up of her student or his student, and when the student gets fed up of the professor, they mutually decide you should graduate now.
Perfect. That's how I feel like right now. That was just good. I'm hoping that the professor gets fed up of me. Okay. I'm joining CECS this fall, and I want to specialize in data science. Shall I change my degree to computer science? If I change, I may have to do 2 prerequisites. What do you think? What is a better option? Here's the thing. I was an electrical engineering student, and I had to do my PhD in computer science. They gave me 3 prerequisites. I could have done my PhD in electrical. I did it because I wanted to take some courses that are in computer science, and I was doing statistical pattern recognition. I was doing machine learning, which are either mathematics or computer science. So I was deciding between either mathematics PhD or computer science PhD or electrical PhD, and I decided to do computer science because my advisor was in computer science, and it was easy for him to control my degree program a little bit better. And I have some important courses that I want to take. And by the end of the day, I wanted to be called a computer science engineer because I was a computer scientist. Right? So that's the reason why I chose that. It depends on you. It depends on your professor. So what do you want to do, and things like that. So you can do data mining and data. When you say use the word data science, I'm assuming you're talking about data mining. When you want to study topics like that, you can always do it in many different fields. There is data science and data mining in statistics, in mathematics department. There is one in optimization department. There's one in industrial engineering where they do operation data mining and supply chain data mining and things like that. There's one in business school that they do data mining and analytics and informatics. Then there are specific department-oriented data mining and data informatics, like biomedical engineering has healthcare informatics and biomedical informatics. There's data mining in terms of like stocks and economics and finance and things like that. So every department has their own way of doing it, and you can do all those things. Come here, explore what you want to do. Don't take these drastic decisions about changing departments or changing fields or changing your degree program from MS to MCS or MCS to MS, or don't take these big decisions without really understanding what these decisions are. Come here, look around, understand what they are, talk to people, talk to professor, then make these decisions. That's what I would say in terms of like big decisions like this, that you want to change courses or something, because they are really big decisions to do. That's what I would say about this. Unless Vinith or Ashwin has anything to add on to it.
No, not really.
I would just like to add one more thing. It's better to go for you, and I don't know if it's a hard suggestion, but I'm just suggesting it's better to go in CE and take those two courses just like that, because you anyways have to pay money for two prerequisite courses, and those two prerequisite courses would be those courses which you don't want to study but you are forced to study because you want to be in computer science. So you would be paying somewhere around $7,000 for those two prerequisite courses. Why don't pay $7,000 and take up a subject in mathematics or statistics in some mathematics department? I would do that.
Data mining is the course that is in question.
Yeah, means data mining, so you need statistics as well, right, for that?
Yeah.
So if you want, so if you want to do data mining, you can like, instead of those two prerequisite courses, you can take those two courses which interest you more.
Okay, so next topic is a big one. Let me read out the question. I want to focus on this area of data mining and information retrieval, but choosing a course is really tough in ASU. Are there any solutions for this, or do we have to bear this problem and fight for courses that interest us? Please help. Niranjan Ravi has asked this question. So let's forget the point that he wants to focus on data mining and information retrieval, and those are very popular courses. They are difficult. But the crux of the question, and the question that quite a lot of people are interested in, is why are there not many courses, and how do we get these courses that we want to get? Is this a problem that we had to bear with ASU? Please help. Now, I have written a post once on Launchpad and once on the MSCS forum. I've said that this is a rat race, and I've said that this problem is going to exist, and I've given that as a reason why not to come to ASU, and I've also given that as a reason that why there are other courses, and you should look at other courses rather than sticking to the same course that everybody is taking. Because if 100 students, 170 students are taking the same course, and they're taking the same set of courses all semester, they're going to compete with 170 students for one particular job. Whereas if they take some courses, they add a unique flavor, a tinge of a unique flavor to their resume, which I think is a really determining factor in terms of getting jobs. Now, we already discussed on this quite a long, like the uniqueness of resume. But having said that, it's a rat race. Face it, it's a rat race. It's going to be a rat race. It's a rat race. You have to fight for these courses, and I've come to a point where I've seen both online and in person that people actually fight for these courses. Some people even, which is a very, very sad scene. The trading of courses in computer science is a very sad scene. It makes people lose their own character in some level, that you have to fight for these courses. Most of this problem is because of the stereotype that seniors give for a particular set of courses, and the importance that is given unwantedly to a particular set of courses, that you have to take them, otherwise your life is ruined or something like that, which makes everybody fight for the same set of courses. In fact, if a course is offered between multiple professors, people actually fight for one professor to have that course. And in this fight, quite a lot of good courses. For example, the course that Vidit had with me, digital video processing, which is a because nobody wants to take that course because there's hardly 10, 11 people registering, right? And people who are actually who told me when they came here for the first time that I want to do video processing and want to do image processing are now moving out of that field because are not taking those courses. And I tell them that this course is online available. Why are you not taking it? They tell me that well, I don't want to take it. I want to take DAA or I want to take that multimedia web databases or some courses, which they were not interested because when they came here, they told me that they were interested in this and they ended up taking other courses because they are either peer pressure or they are forced to take the course because they're others tell them that otherwise you won't get a job or something like that. So the crux of the question is it really choosing courses is really difficult? Do we have to bear this or do we have to fight for courses that interest us? Or do we have to take courses that interest us? And please help. What help can we do? I've posted links of ASU Seat Finder and other things online. So is there anything else that we can do? Can we, as a society or as a cumulative group of people, change this? It's a very open topic. What do you guys think? What can we do?
See,
Uh,
that's a big topic, and if you start discussing on it, that discussion can just keep going on and on. So, where practicality is concerned, even if you find that the courses are full right now, just keep checking around 1 week before the start of the classes. Okay, just keep checking that. Usually, the courses just start freeing up at that time, and once the course or registration deadline is over, you will actually see empty seats. So, I think that just keep waiting and just be a bit patient, and you'll get the courses that you want.
Raghav, I don't know about this thing. I remember when I came, the computer science people were allowed to register for 5 courses. This semester they have reduced it to 3. So when I came, we had a chance because at the end of the day everyone would take 3 courses. So they were anyways gonna reduce it to 2. But I know this time why there are less courses and why people are suffering. But from my suggestion, there are people who have asked me after 25th of June that there are no courses. What I should do, I'm trying to register now. I have clearly told them that if you have an option, don't come to ASU because your first semester will be wasted, which is the deciding factor on what you want to do in the next 3 semesters. But yeah, if there is a chance that you can get more courses and you are getting a green signal from SIDSI, then you can hold on.
So every semester, the then program chair will come and host a event with graduates. I've never seen any graduate student come and attend it, but only PhD students generally attend it. But this invite is extended to any graduate student who wants to come and talk to the program chair and the dean at the moment. So this question is often asked: why there are courses that are not offered? And this time ASU is actually taking these comments very seriously. They have hired a lot of good faculty, new faculty. They're trying to extend the program, but even though they extend it, they cannot offer the same courses. The entire population wants to take the same set of 10 courses. It is not going to happen. I think that's the crux of issue. But having said that, ASU is doing all it can. I mean, I don't want to completely blast ASU away that they're hiring a lot of people. They're under pressure to do that. So to be fair to them, they are adding a lot of seats. Last week they added a whole bunch of seats. I'm sure a lot of people are fighting to take it. I've seen it on forums where they were fighting and exchanging questions and things like that in WhatsApp and Facebook and everywhere. So they're going to add one more round. I think they're going to do this one more time. They're going to add courses, another 30 seats on some courses. They're just finding faculty and they're just trying to find scheduling in terms of timing. And some people have very specific issues, like I have taken this course, I am not able to take that course. Nobody's going to accommodate those kind of requests, but they are trying to add courses. And believe me, in the last semester people will realize that they want to take some other course and last week they'll drop it and you'll get an opportunity to take it. There's no way around it. The only way is just be on the lookout all the time and hope that it works out. But having said that, it doesn't matter even if you take a course that you don't like. Possibly you'll get, be with an open mind. Possibly you'll start liking that course and you'll find some opportunities in that course that you'll probably use well. So it's not like the end of the world when you cannot take a course that's not there. You can always take it next semester. You can always take it the semester of next. This 2 years you can do. Or if you really want a course that you are not able to get, you can always approach the professor for an independent study. And sometimes they are actually very good with that, and they'll help you if you show as much interest as they think that you should. So there's all those things, and so it's not like the end of the world. But yes, it is difficult. It is going to be difficult in the next 2-3 years. By the time you graduate, it's going to be still difficult. So there's nothing that you can do. But I'm really sorry. Okay, we have some subject-specific questions. Let's take them. I've taken up mobile computing as well as cyber physical, mobile, and cloud computing. Actually, I was interested in cloud computing only. However, the seats were full, so I registered for the firmware. But mobile computing and cyber physical computing, they share an undergraduate subject code. Will I be studying the same subject twice? Vidit, do you want to take this? Actually,
Uh,
Ashwin is also on cloud computing with. So,
No, I have no idea about this, but if they share the same course, which is like if they share the same undergrad course, not number, course name, if they share the same course name, because courses numbers are same because there are a lot of CSE 598, there are a lot of CSE 591. If the name is same, then yeah, you will eventually end up taking the same course twice. But don't go number, take the name.
Ashwin, do you know this? Cyber physical mobile and cloud computing, and
Hmm.
mobile computing and cyber physical mobile and cloud computing. Are these both handled by Dr. Huang, and uh, are they different?
Okay, just let me read that question again.
Number 21.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. Okay, first of all, these are, I mean, I don't know about cyber physical mobile computing. I think that is being taken by Sandeep Gupta this time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't have idea about that course. But I have taken mobile computing and cloud computing both. So they are two totally different subjects. So if you are interested in cloud computing, I think you should go for cloud computing rather than mobile computing because it's a totally different subject.
Okay. Um, Regarding a part-time job, why is reference compulsory for a part-time job? So I don't know anyone there personally. So will it be difficult for them to refer, even ask? Firstly, I would like to say that I don't even like the idea of getting a part-time job. Let's say on a very liberal scale that you get a 20-hour part-time job and you get a $10 an hour job. So for a 20-hour a week, so that would earn you on the course of 2 years somewhere around $22,000, $24,000, which would probably be at the worst case one third your salary when you graduate per year. So you are wasting 20 hours a week and 5 hours a week for preparing and relaxing after the work and whatnot. So you're wasting 25 hours a week to earn same amount of money that you would have earned in 4 months after you graduate when you get a job. And in this 25 months, you're going to lose so much time, which could have helped you get a better GPA, get a better job opportunity, or better internship, or better research, or whatever you're into, rather than uh, wasting that 25 hours, which would have helped you get a good job, which would definitely give you something more than $60,000, which is one thirty or $22,000 salary. So I personally don't even think that the mathematics of part-time jobs work out. But I do understand the pressure that makes people take these part-time jobs, the financial pressure. I really understand it, and I really understand that it gives you self-confidence, motivation. Many people have many reasons why they take a part-time job. I personally didn't even bother applying to a single part-time job, and I never had a part-time job as such. I was an RA, I was a TA, and even I think doing TA takes it out on me. But I do a TA because I'm really, really interested in teaching, and whenever I do a TA, I ask my professor that I want to teach courses, classes, at least 2 or 3 classes I take per semester, and so only because of the passion of my teaching, I do a TA. So if you're doing something like that for a part-time, I think it's acceptable. But I am really against the idea of part-time jobs. So I really don't want to take this question. But Vidit and Ashwin, you can answer. Is references really important for a part time, and how important is a part time?
Okay,
And
actually,
uh,
I would like to add a bit of context into this question. Why this question has been asked is because they have recently updated their part-time application portal and they have mandatorily asked you to give three references. If you don't have references, you won't be able to apply. So let me tell you one thing. You don't need to have references. You can add any like if the senior permits you, you can add him or her as your reference, but they are not actually considered for a fresher or a part-time job when you come in for a library thing. But yeah, it definitely helps if you are applying for a technical part-time job because that person can recommend you. But yeah, that's in the portal, that's required, but it does not it actually helps you to get a job. But if you don't have it, then it's okay.
let's stop that
Yeah, I
question over
think
there.
so.
Yeah, okay. There's a very fine question that's coming up. Is it fine to take 4 courses in one semester? I've never taken more than two, so at least the last 3 years, I've not taken more than 1 or 2 courses a semester. 2 courses is my maximum, and even then, I audit one course.
Raghav,
So
it's not just about one semester. He or she, whoever is asking this question, he said semester one. That means he's talking about the first semester. No, man. big no. And if that's a hard suggestion or a hard thing, I again shout, big no. Man, you don't know what you are gonna face. So big no, take three, decide carefully. Don't ever take 4 courses in your first semester. You will regret it. You will cry. You will cry day and night.
This is the first non-vague, non-diplomatic, solid answer in the Hangout. Ashwin, what do you say?
I mean, that is one thing I also not recommend because it's a totally new system here. So I think you just get a feel of the system first, and then if you really want to take 4 courses in one semester, take it in your second or third semester. Yeah, don't take it in the first semester.
Prasad Pisal has got the
I mean,
first solid answer in the group.
yeah, I mean, it can work out, but it's too much of a risk because you won't be able to concentrate on all 4 subjects properly because it's a new system. You should be used to the system before you actually start taking such risks.
Okay, let's leave it there. You guys said a clear no. I've not
Yeah.
taken 4 courses in a semester, so I don't know how difficult it will be. And I've done 3 courses with 2 research at the same time, and it was impossibly difficult. But I was so passionate that I really didn't mind working late into the night and everything. It was very difficult, but I guess the passion of it carried me through. And then I figured out that I have health issues because of it, so I stopped doing it. I had to quit one and things like that. But I can only imagine how a 4 semester course is going to be. Okay, so Srirang has asked this question before, and Ashwin, you got disconnected, so I couldn't share this question with you. Can you shed
Okay.
some light on embedded operating system internals by Professor Strauss?
Yeah, I just actually answered that question on the chat. Yeah, I have not taken the course, so I don't know about the course at all. Okay, where the professor is concerned, I mean, my interaction with him has been as his TA, not as a student. And I did ask him a few stuff. So he's very knowledgeable, so you can approach him and you can discuss anything with him. So he knows a lot of stuff, and you can ask questions to him. So as a professor, he's pretty good. So yeah, that's
This
my
brings
answer.
another topic to what that I wanted to answer, that I want to talk to students about a lot. No professor is bad, and no course is bad. If some senior tells you that the professor is bad, or some senior tells you that the course is bad or difficult, it means that they have had a bad time with them. Could have been for 1,000 different reasons. Believe me, I'm considering a professor as a job, though I'm not really capable right now. I'm really considering, and I have to think about this. I'm sure every professor who is a professor today would have thought about it at some point of time. Anybody who is a professor is earning at least 3 times less than what they could be earning had they been in industry. I'm certain of it because everybody is so capable here. So if anybody is being a professor, it's either because of their passion towards research or because of their passion towards teaching or both. So if somebody tells you that professor is not a good professor, then it's reason for you to believe that you should not believe them because no professor is bad. And similarly, courses. For most courses, for particularly specialty courses like video processing or statistical learning or machine learning or like embedded operating systems, these are courses that are offered by only one professor. For them, it's like a kid. They brought it up, they developed it, they introduced it into the system of ASU's curriculum, and they developed this course like their kid. So if you ask any questions, they'll be spontaneously interested in answering because they want their courses to flourish. And there's competition among professors, like who gets a good course and who gets to handle more students and things like that. So if it's a particular specialty course, they would be really interested in talking about that course and spreading the material around to the world, the philosophy of the course to the world. You cannot say, if anybody says that that person is not good in that course, then that's reason to believe that you should not believe that person, because no professor is bad. Anybody is good. Any course is good. It's just that if somebody tells you that this is a course where you won't understand anything, it just means that they have taken a course that they are not interested in, and therefore they didn't understand it, or they didn't pay attention, or 1,000 other reasons that they had to not understand that course. It doesn't mean that you will not understand that course.
No,
There
I
are
mean,
some
if you don't
professors
understand,
who,
you can always talk to the professor, right? So,
yeah, you can. But what I'm saying is there are these comments that people give that this professor is bad. Don't take it. I've heard a comment that Pata Dasgupta is bad, which I can't
oh,
believe. I was falling down on the street,
not at
rolling
all.
around,
Come
crying,
on.
not to believe that.
He's one of the finest professors.
I took
Best
an
professor.
undergraduate course with him. I took operating systems as an undergraduate prerequisite course with him, and he's one of the most amazing professors I've seen. But having said that, some people have had trouble with him. But I'm sure it was a huge class, and they were not able to listen carefully, and possibly they were not interested in that courses. So there are 1,000 reasons why somebody will not like a particular professor. But definitely you should not take such comments very seriously. If somebody says some professor is difficult or some professor is hard or not capable of understanding, it might be because of 1,000 days. They may not be able to understand his accent. They may not be interested in the topic of the subject or whatever it is. There is always a way to solve it. So don't believe such comments. So, and don't ask such questions. Is this a difficult course or is it a bad course or a good? Difficult is a fine word to use, but not bad or good, because no professor is bad, no course is bad. There are difficult professors, there are lenient professors, I agree. There are easy courses, and there are difficult courses, I agree. But there are no bad courses, or there are no good courses, or there are no bad professors or good professors. Don't use those kind of words to ask questions, or don't believe such answers. Do you guys have something to add on?
And where difficult courses are concerned, if you are not ready to face some difficulty at masters, why are you coming for a masters? It has
Perfect.
to
That's
be
what I want to
difficulty,
say.
right?
Yeah.
It should be something. It should be something much more than a undergrad. If you just want to do the same thing here again, why are you even calling it a masters? Just
You're
call it
paying
something
three
like a
thousand.
second bachelor's or something like that.
You're paying $3,000 for that course. You need to take up some knowledge
Exactly.
out of that course, right? So it should be if it's an easy course, then it means that you shouldn't have taken that course in the first place. Vijit, do you have something to add on to that?
I would like to just say one thing. So when I came to ASU, I talked to this artificial intelligence course with Dr. Rao. He's a lot into planning, which is I don't think anyone would have even heard of it while being in India because I didn't hear of it, because I didn't heard of it. But that was a course in which there were 30 students who were there when we started, and I used to be a mediocre person in that course. But by the time they were like 2 months past, everyone dropped that course, and I was at the last position. I was 15th person, and there were a lot of PhD students. So that was the hardest course for me to tackle because I really didn't used to understand anything. But the good thing about Dr. Rao was that he used to record his courses, record his classes, and then he used to put those classes online. And he was a very helpful professor. So I used to work hard. I used to look in his classes again and again, and then I used to ask questions. And at the end, I went to him and said, "Sir, I cannot handle this course and I can't drop it because I cannot afford $3,000. Help me out." Man, you won't believe. I can't. I don't want to say this here because he said that you should not like share this with. But he took 2 hours of personal class, only he and me, like a personal tuition. You won't believe how much pain he took just to bring me up, and then I got an A in that course. And I am really thankful for him because he gave me the taste of how good a professor can be. So if the course is hard, professor will try their level best to get you up. They are very good professors. You just have to believe in them.
And you just have to approach them.
And that was Subbarao Kambhampati, one of the greatest professors in computer science department. Okay, we have another question which is I think simple to answer. OPT 29 months with 17-month extension. Are MS students allowed to extend with this OPT? Here's the thing: don't ask questions that are way beyond your masters. You're still not even started your masters. Why do you want to know about the extension to your OPT? Right? But still, let's answer this question for completeness sake. Are MS students allowed to extend their OPTs beyond 29 months?
No.
See, the OPT, no, it's not. The maximum is 29 months. So if you are lucky, first you get a 12 months OPT, and then you need a company to agree to, you need a job that is related to the field of your study. So if you are in a computer science, you need to have a computer science job. So that makes you eligible to extend it to further 17 months. And it's basically within this period you have to get your H1B visa. So that's the thing.
Perfect. There's an interesting question from wait, let me see. From Sesha. The question is, how frequent is it in ASU that people transfer to other colleges, and any suggestions on this? I'm assuming that this person has some other university in mind and couldn't get it, or for some reason didn't apply and want to transfer after MS in ASU. I know just one person who got transferred from ASU to Carnegie Mellon in robotics from electrical engineering, but I know it is possible, and I know that you have to apply again and you have to transfer credits using the ASU transfer credit program, and they let you transfer all those courses which are graduate level and not undergraduate level. But I'm not sure if Ashwin and Vidit doesn't know the answer. I think you have to answer. You have to ask Cynthia or somebody from Ask ASU, or maybe advising, graduate advising. But do you guys have any idea?
I don't know anybody who has done that, but it is possible, that's for sure. But how tedious the process is or what courses you can transfer, we really don't have any idea.
I know two people who converted who came from two different universities, but they were for the MBA program, and ASU entertained like most of their credits. But I don't know anyone who have like gone from ASU to some other place. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have another question which is very simple for me to answer. How many graduate students graduate in CS in ASU? Here's the thing. There is a website. Go to Google, search for ISSO ASE report, yearly report. You will get all kinds of pie charts and graph charts and flow charts explaining how many people are there, from which ethnicity, with origin, how many I-20s given, how many admits given, how many jobs taken. Every kind of information you will find it. So don't bother. Just go there, search for it. You will find all kind of, beautifully drawn graphics to explaining all these numbers. Okay, so we have some subject-specific questions which we'll take later. Let's say there's one here which is, uh, let's say, okay, we'll take this question. It says, how can I take the benefit of a microcontroller programming skill at ASU? IM, ARM, some number, and big device.
I think Dr. Fenikos is good in robotics, and he has been doing something with quadropters. I'm not sure what he's
Uh,
working on.
Fenikos also does some work on the RoboCup. He has
Yeah,
four Neos, and he takes them out to the RoboCup challenge every year in place.
yeah, yeah.
There is a micro programmer skills club at ASU. They do work with big devices and ARM devices, and they do some programming work. These are very specific to ask on these forums. Please refrain from asking such questions in here. Um, does anybody in the panel here on the Hangout have any questions? We can actually chat. I don't know why you guys are so silent. I mean, I know that there's some talk going on in the chat bar, but you can actually ask questions here if you want.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'll look for other questions that we have missed and not answered here in this form that we have. Okay, here's another thing. Since nobody asked the question, I'll ask this. I've done 5 months of study at IIT KGP professor, and I have some ideas of my own for cloud on data security. How will that be beneficial for me to make research proposal? I think the question that is asked is a little bit more general than the very specific question that's asked. Let me generalize that question. It's like I have some experience with some professor in India, and I know that it's not really research quality, but it is some research that I've done. Will that be useful at ASU? Will the material be useful, or will the experience be useful? And how can I actually go to a professor and tell them that I've done this? It should not sound too small, but it should sound big enough for them to actually accept me, right? And how do I handle this? And if can I, firstly, can I do this? And if I want to tell somebody, how can I tell them? And thirdly, if I tell somebody my own idea, will they actually consider taking it? Do you guys want to start?
Raghav, you
Yeah.
should take this question. Come on.
So for me,
Actually, since the this no, actually I can take this up because this was my topic also
yeah,
related to my
that is
research.
why I wanted you to answer
Yeah,
this question before I start talking on it.
yeah. So basically, if you have any research experience with any professor in India, it's good. Okay, any experience, any skill that you have, it's definitely good. Now, you said that you have some ideas of your own for cloud data security. So since you have your own ideas, there is a high chance that any professor is going to accept you. And in this area particularly, Dr. Dijang Huang has a lot of projects going on right now. I mean, so if you just approach him, so he's very friendly, and I think he'll just take you in and you can work with his PhD students on his projects. You can actually start your own project, and they have actually a very nice cloud system here,
Mobi
so
Cloud.
called MobiCloud, exactly. So you can actually get your stuff working along with that cloud, and it will be a very good thing. So only thing, my suggestion is, if you whenever you go to any professor with your ideas, don't talk about the funding the first time you meet him. Work under him for maybe like 2-3 months, and then maybe if you have shown some results and the professor likes your work, then the funding will come automatically. But yeah, you can just go to the professors and talk to them. I mean, this area I'm definitely 100% sure because that Dejang Huang is working on and is concentrating on actually. So yeah, you can just talk to. He's one of the professors. You can just look around at the other profiles, and you may find another professor also. So it's a very good thing, and you can do it.
Okay, the other questions on the form are too specific for me to take. So there
Yeah.
is one theme on whatever we are speaking. I think after this, there's one more theme that I want to take because there's a couple of questions on it, and then we'll end the hangout. So if you guys have more questions, just ask and participate in a discussion. We'll have a discussion maybe like 5-10 minutes afterwards. So we can close the hangout session in with that. So the topic that okay, this is of interest to me because I've approached like 3-4 professors and I've worked with 3-4 professors. So what I do in general, what I find in general is that when you go to a professor, they actually don't expect you to know anything. Okay, but if you know something, it's actually good. You have to. It takes a bit of skill to understand how the professor is. Some professors like their students to come up with ideas and tell them, whereas some other professors will like to give them some topic that they're working on and make you work on it, right? So you have to read and understand how the professor is and then tell them that you have this experience and show off all your capabilities and skills, or refrain from doing that and actually show it off in your work that you do. So it depends on professor to professor, right? So some professors you have to read the professor's tone as to what they expect from someone like you. So based on that is how you do. That's what I would say. But I would say this: no matter what, as a community, Indians we are little timid. We are in a shell that we don't actually go out of our way to do something. That we'll say, okay, what the hell? I'll take this course and it'll be done. Or if some professor comes to me, then I'll take an RA. People ask me all these questions: how to get an RA, how to quit an RA. There is no one way to get an RA, or there's no one way to do a business. You need to step out of that shell from what everybody else does and go find that thing. So the moment you take that mental step that I'm going to step out of my shell and I'm going to try this something new, or I'm going to try to get a thesis, then there is nobody to guide you because it's your own path. And you go to a professor, every professor is different, so you have to understand how their way of talking and their way of collaborating is, and based on that, you have to collaborate. You cannot have the same conversation with one professor with another professor. Some people expect you to know something. Some people not expect you to not know something. Some people expect you to work on what they have. Some people expect you to come up with topics on your own. So yeah, it's you have to read the particular person's mind. So on the same topic, it's like we Indians, we just are scared. We are scared of taking risks. We are scared of doing all these things. We are scared of being open, and we just expect people to hand everything to us. And Ashwin and I, we have had this conversations many times in many places. In my house, when we are playing badminton, or when we are meeting on the roads, or several times we have had this conversation that why we expect people to give things to us. Like even in this conversation, some of these questions that are asked, which we are ignoring here, are answers that you are expecting us to give to you, which we don't want to do in this hangout. That's why we're not taking those questions like very particularly asked questions. So don't expect things to be handed to you all the time because nobody's going to do it. Your professor is not going to spoon feed things into you. Your classmates are not going to help you with things. Your seniors are not going to help you with things. You have to expect things to be done by you and not to be expected to be handed over to you. So if you go to a professor, don't expect them to give everything to you because they don't do it. They'll tell you, here is the topic that I'm working on. Read this, and if you have any questions, come to me. Try to come up with something on this, right? That's what research is, right? You're expected to do research, and this is going to happen in classes also. They're going to give a lecture, and they're going to give you an assignment, and they're going to come and help you with questions or doubts or whatever. But they're not going to help you do something that you're supposed to do, right? They're not going to help you solve problems or something like that. They're going to help you, but they're not going to solve it for you or going to give it to you. Similarly with even seniors, I don't like people who actually give solutions. And if somebody comes to me or Ashwin, we would directly tell you guys like, no, we're not going to give you solutions. We're not going to give you projects. We're not going to give you answers. Come to me if you want help. We'll help you, but we're not going to give you solutions. And most seniors here do it actually. That they don't share their previous year's questions or solutions or whatever with you guys because you don't expect things to be handed to you. So don't go to some professor and expect them to contact you. Even if they tell you that I'm going to contact you in some time, always follow up to them and like ask them, okay, I met you several days ago. Do you have something? Do you have something? So don't bug them, but always follow up. Whether it's a part-time interview application or if it's a professor you're meeting with or whatever. Like we know how to communicate with them and read their tone, and then the way that you talk to them will depend on how they talk to you. Most professors, when you go and tell them that I want to do research, they won't even let you talk. They'll tell you everything that they are doing, and they'll give you all this information, and you're expected to pick and choose something or something like that. Nobody will actually let you talk because they want to first show off what they're doing, right? They want to make you understand what they're doing. So most professors will not even give you an opportunity to talk that much and explain your project unless and until you write specifically on the email that that I want to talk to you about what I'm doing. And not big professors will actually encourage it. Only the people who are assistant professors or actively doing research will actually do this. Like Dr. Huang, for example, will be someone who is aggressive in research, and he'll encourage these kind of communication. Whereas professors like Dr. Dasgupta, who is on the end of his illustrious academic career, I'm sure he'll not encourage those kind of conversations. You have to read a professor. The time of his career will depend on how you talk to him, right? So there's no one way of talking to a professor. I wouldn't say that there is one way of talking to somebody. You should always read that person's mood or what they are doing at that time. And for that, the best way is not talk to the professor first. Go and talk to the people who are working in his lab. uh, they'll give you a better idea of what is happening in the lab than what is posted on the professor's website. I mean, if you guys follow PhD comics, you'll understand how a professor's website actually works, and that's true. What is written there is actually true. So that's how it works. So you talk to people who are actually working in that lab. Just go into the lab, wander into their lab, and most labs are open, at least in computer science. Just wander into their lab, talk to some person who's sitting there, and ask him, hey, what you're doing, right? And tell me, okay, tell me what how's this professor like? Can I do some work with him, right? So ask him those kind of questions. They'll help you, and then they'll only tell you like, okay, if you want to join a lab, do this, do that. You can get some tips there from them, and then go to a professor. Right? Then you'll be able to better talk to them and know what they actually want. Yeah. So Ashwin, and whether they have something to add on to it.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk to a professor, it's always an advantage if you have ideas of your own and you know that the professor is working on similar stuff. Because if you look it from their perspective, if your idea is good, they might even get a publication out of it, and their name will also be there on the publication. So it just adds to their profile. So just thinking from the professor's perspective also will help you in this. So if you have an idea, I think you should just go for it. Seriously, because that's how I did. And I mean, my first conversation, he just said, okay, fine, we'll do this. And this is your place in the lab. So just come here anytime you want and just work on it. So it's pretty easy, actually, if you have an idea. Just go and talk to them comfortably. They are usually very approachable here.
I think Raghav covered it up very well. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
There are some more questions on like what is the difference between OPT and CPT and other questions which I'm sure are either questions that we don't want to answer or questions that are easily found online. So like I said in the beginning, we are not going to answer questions that are very specific or very yeah, that makes us give answers which we don't want to give because we don't want to give opinions. We just want to give advice. So you can there are other forums and other online sources where you can find answers to such questions. Yeah, I guess we'll close this session here. If you guys have more questions, you can post on the CS forum. Now these two guys are also there on the forum. I think they'll answer your questions and I'll answer your questions from there. So thanks Vidit and Ashwin for attending this session. Hopefully we'll have some more sessions because somebody is asking that we need to have some more sessions like this. Hopefully this will have more good philosophical conversations like this and some very overall overview conversations like this. I'm sure we've had many of them in person, so maybe we'll have some of these sessions online we will do. So thanks all these guys for asking all these questions. We have almost like 40 questions. And I'm sure the
Yeah,
population is quite a small population, so it helps. And we'll have maybe even smaller sessions with very few people where actually people can talk. I expected people to talk, but everybody is on the chat bar and not talking, so that's okay. So I'll invite you guys for other events if you want, and you guys, if you are hosting some, I know you guys have your own forums. If you want to me to join, it'll be interesting, and you can let these people also join. So thanks all for coming, and good night and good afternoon.
Thank you, Raghav, for giving us a chance to be of help. This is an awesome opportunity to help people and tell others. And thanks, guys, for joining. I hope you have a good time at ASU. Welcome, Sun Devils.
By the way, this is
Yeah,
going to
so
be
just
online.
everybody has given their yeah.
This is going to be online for till tomorrow, and so we're going to take it out down tomorrow because some people were telling me that they were not able to attend this event, so we're going to have it online for a day. We'll take it down tomorrow. Yeah, Ashwin.
Yeah, so basically, so you have heard a lot of different opinions which you might not hear at other places. I'm pretty sure of that. So even don't take our opinions at face value, just come, try your own. And I mean, everybody is old enough, you just make your own decisions basically. Don't let others make your decisions for you. That's all.
Okay, what do you think?